Welcome to Cozy English Corner. I am Alex, and we are broadcasting from our studio here in Columbus, Ohio. The snow is finally starting to melt outside, which is a relief.
I am Alara, and I have to say, the unpredictable Ohio weather is definitely keeping us alert. I wore a heavy coat yesterday, and today I only need a light sweater.
That is the Midwest for you. But it is wonderful to have you here, Alara. As an event planner working near the Ohio State campus, you deal with a lot of movement, logistics, and communication every single day.
I do. I am constantly telling vendors where to put things, asking clients what they want, and coordinating with teams, which is why the topic we are discussing today feels so personal to me.
Today, we are looking at two extremely common words, bring and take. On the surface, this looks like a basic vocabulary lesson, but I know it is much more complicated than that.
It really is. In my work, I interact with many international vendors and professionals, and when these two words come up, I see a specific kind of hesitation in their eyes.
Let us talk about that hesitation. What is actually happening in their minds?
It is the fear of sounding uneducated. You can be a brilliant manager, handling a huge budget. But if you look at your boss and say, "I will take the report to you," instead of "bring," people notice.
Exactly. Native speakers notice it immediately. It creates a tiny, unconscious barrier in the conversation. The speaker knows they made a mistake, and that embarrassment can ruin their confidence for the rest of the day.
That is the painful part. They feel like a child because they cannot choose the right verb to describe moving an object from point A to point B.
But here is the truth that we rarely discuss. There is a deep cognitive reason why this is so difficult for second language learners. It is not about memorizing a dictionary definition.
I am listening. What makes it so complex?
It involves a scientific concept called deictic projection. I know that sounds complicated, but it simply means how our brains map physical space and relationships.
Mapping physical space? Like understanding where you are standing in a room?
Yes, when you use these words, you are doing mental gymnastics. To use bring correctly when talking to someone else, you have to mentally project your mind into their body. You have to view the action from their physical location.
That is fascinating. So if a client is at the venue and I am at my office, I tell them I will bring the contract. I am mentally placing myself at the venue with them.
Exactly. You are showing spatial empathy. You are adjusting your language to center their reality, not yours. For a language learner, doing this spatial translation in real time is exhausting.
It makes total sense why people freeze. They are trying to translate the vocabulary, manage the grammar, and suddenly they also have to act as a GPS for the conversation.
I love how you phrase that. Acting as a GPS. So, let us make the rules very concrete. The core difference between these two words is direction and point of view.
Right. We use bring when something moves toward the speaker, toward the listener, or toward the place we are focusing on.
And we use take when something moves away from the speaker, away from the listener, or away from the central location.
Let me test this with a daily example. Imagine I am at home here in Columbus, and my husband is at work downtown. He calls and says he forgot his lunch.
A classic problem. So, what do you say to him?
I would say, "I will bring your lunch to your office." I use bring because the lunch is moving toward him.
Perfect. Now imagine a different scenario. You are at home and your son is walking out the door to catch the school bus. You hand him the same lunchbox.
In that case, I say, "Please take your lunch to school." The focus is our house, and the lunch is moving away from us.
Notice what just happened. The physical object is the same. The action of carrying it is the same, but the grammar completely changes based on where you put your mental focus.
That is what makes English feel so slippery to learners. The rules shift depending on your perspective.
It does feel slippery, but we can make it solid by pairing these words with two other movement verbs. Bring almost always partners with come, and take almost always partners with go.
I see. If I am hosting a dinner party and invite a friend, I ask, "Are you coming tonight?" And they reply, "Yes, I will bring dessert."
Because the movement is toward the central location, your house.
But if I am talking to my assistant about a meeting in another building, I say, "I am going to the meeting now. I will take these folders with me."
Exactly. You use go and take because you are leaving the current focus point. Once learners grasp this team concept, come and bring, go and take, they stop guessing.
This gives them a practical tool instead of a confusing grammar chart. Let us test some everyday phrases. When I leave a restaurant, the server might hand me a box and say, "You can take this home."
Yes, because the food is leaving the restaurant. But if you invite friends to the park for a picnic, you text them, "Bring your own drinks."
Because the park is the destination we are focusing on.
Correct. Now, I want to talk about the exceptions because English loves to break its own rules. Sometimes a phrase is entirely fixed and does not follow physical movement at all.
Oh, I know one. Take your time. It has nothing to do with carrying a physical object away from a place. It just means do not hurry.
That is an excellent example. Take a break and take a shower are others. In those cases, take functions as a light verb to describe an action, not spatial movement. Learners must treat those as complete, unbreakable blocks of vocabulary.
That is a relief, honestly. You do not need to calculate dialectic projection when someone tells you to take a break. You just rest.
Exactly. Let us run through some fast-paced scenarios to train the brain. I will describe a situation, and you tell me the correct sentence. Are you ready?
I am ready. Give me a tough one.
You are at a coffee shop here in Columbus. You buy an extra coffee for your coworker. You are going back to the office now. What do you say to the barista?
I say, I am going to take this coffee to my coworker. It is moving away from the coffee shop.
Spot on. Now you arrive at the office, walk up to your coworker's desk, hand them the cup, and say what?
I say, I brought you a coffee. Because from their perspective at the desk, the coffee arrived to them.
Brilliant. You naturally shifted your spatial anchor. Let us do another. Your daughter is sick in bed upstairs. She texts you in the kitchen and asks for water.
She texts, "Can you bring me some water?" And I reply, "Yes, I will bring it right up."
Wait, why did you say, "I will bring it right up"? You are in the kitchen. The water is moving away from you.
Oh, that is tricky. I said bring because I mentally placed myself in her bedroom. My focus was on her, not me.
That is exactly it. This is where English becomes flexible, and it is what drives learners crazy. Sometimes you have the power to choose the focus. By saying, "I will bring it to you," you show psychological closeness.
Wow. So if I said, "I will take it up to you," that is grammatically correct from the kitchen's perspective, but it feels a little colder, like I am just moving inventory.
Yes, you hit the core of it. We often use bring when communicating with loved ones to show that our minds are already with them. It is an act of linguistic empathy.
This changes how I hear conversations entirely. It is not just about geography. It is about relationships.
It is. Now, let us apply this to the workplace, where the anxiety is usually the highest. Imagine a corporate meeting room.
I know those well. Everyone is stressed, and the stakes feel very high.
Your boss tells you to transport a physical document to the legal department on the 4th floor. What is the most natural command they would use?
Analytical. They would say, "Please take this file to the legal department because it is moving away from our current location."
Yes. And if you are speaking to the legal department on the phone before you go, what do you tell them?
I say, "I am bringing the file up right now because my psychological focus is moving to their location."
Excellent. This is why literal translations from a student's native language often fail. In many languages, the verb for carry does not change based on perspective.
That is so frustrating. You look up carry in the dictionary, and it tells you nothing about empathy or destination or focus.
It tells you nothing. That is why we must stop translating word for word. Instead, we have to visualize the scene like a movie director. Where is the camera placed?
I like that metaphor. If the camera is at the destination, use bring. If the camera is at the starting point, use take.
Exactly. Let us build a quick survival kit for our listeners. Phrases they can memorize and use immediately without analyzing the grammar every time.
I am ready. What is the first survival phrase?
I will bring it. Use this when someone asks you to provide an item at a shared event or a mutual meeting place.
Like when planning a neighborhood barbecue here in Columbus. We need paper plates. I will bring them.
Perfect. Phrase 2. Take it with you. Use this when someone is leaving your physical presence and you want them to carry an item.
Such as, it looks like it will rain later. Take an umbrella with you.
Yes. Phrase 3. Bring someone along. This means inviting a guest to join you at an event.
That is so common. I am going to the concert tonight. I think I will bring my sister along.
Exactly. And phrase 4. Take it back. This is vital for shopping. It means returning an item to the store because it is moving away from your home.
Oh, I use that one constantly. This sweater is too small. I need to take it back to the mall.
These phrases are like small islands of safety. When a learner is feeling overwhelmed, they can rely on these fixed structures without panicking.
Islands of safety. I like that. Because the panic is what causes people to stop speaking altogether.
And preventing that silence is our entire goal. If you mix up bring and take, the world will not end. Communication will still happen.
People will still understand that an object needs to move. They might notice the error, but business continues.
Precisely. But by mastering this, you eliminate that tiny moment of friction. You sound smoother, and more importantly, you feel confident.
It is about gaining control over the language, rather than letting the language control your emotions.
Beautifully said. Before we close, I want to challenge our listeners. Do not just memorize our examples.
Right. Think of your own life. Write down one sentence you would use at your actual job and one sentence you would use in your real kitchen.
Apply the camera rule. Decide where the focus is. Once you connect the grammar to your own physical reality, your brain will lock it in.
Thank you for explaining the psychology behind this, Alex. It makes it feel much less like a punishment and more like a tool for connection.
You are very welcome, Alara. Thank you for sharing your perspective. For everyone listening, stay warm out there, keep practicing, and we will see you next time on Cozy English Corner.